Hey guys, welcome to the ace match between Liquid TLO and New Star Hoso. The score is tied up 1-1 in a BO3 because it is the ace match. This is the Korean Weekly, week number 6, round number 1, and thanks so much for staying with me for all 3 games. I know they haven't been the best games around, but hey, it's a BO3 series and it has Liquid TLO, which is just amazing. Will he be able to take game number 3? Last game, he did a cheese, which just did not seem to work out for him. In game number 1, it was kind of one of those macro games. TLO played it really safely. I'm kind of surprised he came out so far ahead in game 1. We'll see what Salvation has in store for us on Korhal compound. This map, a little bit odd. I haven't casted it in a while, so I don't know exactly how this is going to play out. I know, well, TLO is probably going to get 4 to 6 queens, unless, again, he decides to cheese, which I don't think he will be doing because that did not go so well for him in the game, number 1. And we'll see exactly what Salvation ends up doing. It's going to be a Korean series without a command center first, which is a little bit odd because it just seems so often that I see command center first come out of Koreans in any best of series. Just saying, hey, I know you're not going to be cheesing me. I'm just going to go for the CC first. Let's see how you react, especially against Zerg. They even still do that. So TLO is going to send the drone scout off, going to be getting that one watchtower. In game number 1, we saw him go all over the map just looking for a proxy barrack. So this time, it looks like he's kind of doing the same thing. So just making sure he's not getting cheesed. And the drone may just return home, may not be interested in scouting exactly what Salvation's doing back at home. He's going to do the same thing anyways. He's going to build 4 queens because that defends against most Terran openers. There's not that many that it doesn't defend against. If you have like 6 Hellions and can run by the queens, yeah, you can do a lot of damage still because queens, while they can hit Hellions, they still tickle Hellions. So run-bys are still pretty darn good. They're definitely underutilized because that is a huge gamble to use all that time on your factory and, of course, the minerals that go into it, but mainly the time on your factory in the early game to do a coin toss because it's all going to come down to how the AI reacts if you actually pull off the Hellion run by or not. So a lot of players don't really favor that. We do see Salvation going to be going for a 1-Rax Expo. He really does like doing this build. He has done it all 3 games. We'll see how he follows it up in a standard game when he sees this one hatch because we know on Ohana, he kind of went for a 1-Rax double Expo because on Ohana you can. On Korhal compound, it's not so easy just because you have an entrance into this base and then you have 2 into your 3rd base, so nowhere near as easy to take 3 bases as a Terran player. But however, Salvation took his command center really early and landed it really late, so he could still do that build and get away with it. However, I just think he's too passive, as I was saying in game 1. You have to put some pressure on the Zerg. You have to do something to contain the creep. I've seen QXC even placing bunkers down just to make sure like the creep doesn't recede that far. However, on a map that doesn't have a ramp down, like on Korhal compounds right now, that QXC trick would not work because the spine crawler would outrange the bunker. That works because you contain the creep. Let's pretend there's an invisible ramp right here because there's nothing really going on. We see this one SCV getting chased. He doesn't get any scouting information. So let's pretend there's an invisible ramp down here. That means until a creep tumor gets down here, the creep can't extend down there, which means the spine crawler can't go down. So you place a bunker back here, which prevents the creep from going down here, which prevents the spine crawler from burrowing near the bunker, which prevents the bunker from going down to anything besides like roaches, lings, or something like that. So it works on maps with ramps. On this map, QXC's little bunker plate would not work. TLO going to be placing the 1 Overlord right here, and this is something that's great about Korhal compounds for Zerg. You can see the vision of this Overlord. So TLO doesn't even need to leave a suicidal unit over here. He knows when Salvation is going to be moving out. Meanwhile, we do see Salvation going to be going for Hellions and actually double reacted Hellions. So he is going to be going with a little bit of a run-by, but because the Overlord is right here, he's going to be able to see the run-by coming. What would be great is if Salvation built a barracks right here, lifted up, killed the Overlord, then set the Hellions out. That would just be an amazing play. But TLO gonna be playing so safe anyways with the suicidal unit, so even if that Overlord does get bullied away, well, the Hellions will still get scouted most likely. 2 Hellions gonna go out and take map control. And this, very, very normal right now. TLO getting double Evo chamber So he is not going to be going roaches. He could be caught completely off guard by these mass Hellions while he is at mass Lings, and he's only got 4 queens. So we'll see if he can how he handles this, because a lot of Hellions are about to be coming on out. Queen is going to be poking one Hellion. The Hellion going to take off this tumor. That is very nice. Killing off the tumor, saving his Hellion. But there are still plenty more active tumors around the map. So he's not going to be able to hide the Hellions for long, because when he gets to TLO's base, there is going to be plenty of creep, and TLO, in his fashion, spreads it every direction. Doesn't just make a direct path to his opponent's base, spreads it every which direction, covering the entire map in that purple goo. We do have Hellions being produced 4 at a time, and this something that could easily catch him off guard, especially keeping Hellions back at this one watchtower. So seeing these Hellions come back, if he didn't notice the Hellions didn't go home, then he probably thinks there's only 4 Hellions out on the map, when there's even more than that. So definitely could be caught off guard, especially with a lot more Hellions still just hanging back in the base. We do have TLO taking another base right now, getting a Baneling's Nest up, getting more Lings, getting that 1-1 on his Lings, but that is a lot of Hellions coming out from Salvation. And TLO with a lot of Lings moving out, so he will be putting on a little bit of pressure. Overlord going to scout in, sees 3 Marines. That's not much. How far is he going to get? Is he going to see the factory with that reactor still? No, he doesn't see the factory with the reactor still. But now he sees a lot of Hellions, and now going to see a lot more Hellions. TLO's like, oh man, that's a lot of Hellions. That is like 8 Hellions. Holy crap. Got to get something. Getting a Spore Caller because he sees a lot of minerals, and then sees even more Hellions coming across the map. 16 Hellions are out. TLO, though, looks like he wants to do a counter-attack. Saying, well, I can no longer defend my base. Counter-attack it is. Hellions merging their way in, and Lings and Banelings merging their way over to TLO's base. And they go up on that bunker, going to be going up on the supply depot, while these Hellions are coming over here, doing a lot of damage. You can see them split up, killing, well, I don't know exactly what they're killing, but there's still plenty of Hellions out. Transfuse is going down on those queens, keeping them alive, and TLO has stayed alive, and the drone kills, not much. Oh, that split on the Hellion actually not paying off. Salvation, thinking he had that in the bag, got a little bit too cocky. He's like, okay, well, as long as I split my Hellions, I can just worry about my base, make sure I keep my base alive. You can see all the SCVs following one. Definitely is flustered right now. More Hellions coming in, but he has lost a mass amount of zombie. He is still ahead on supply, but a Roach one is coming up for TLO. We do see +1 vehicle weapons right now. Queen gonna pick off one of those Hellions. And the Hellion's not attacking the Queen, attacking that hatch. And Hellion's now retreating. Ling's coming in. Gonna try to get us around. All these Hellions coming in from 2 directions. The Hellion's gonna get surrounded if he doesn't stop them one at a time, but no! They get surrounded, doesn't stop them. Like, little by little, that does get him a little bit surrounded. That is very hard micro to pull off. I'll talk about it after the game. We do have TLO now just hunting down all these Hellions. And now, Salvation is forced to play mech right now. There's no other hope for him other than mech. So, all he can do is total up. So TLO would be very wise for him to take another base, or even go for both Overlord speed and Overlord drop. That would be probably the smartest thing to do, is get those 2 things, because, well, that is what's going to counter what Salvation is going to be doing. It has to be mech. Once you get that far behind, build that many Hellions, have those factories, you can't really transition back into bio. Just because you put so much into the factories to get that much Hellions, and you don't have the barracks behind it to support it. You have a lot of gas. And, it's going to be a lot of Hellions versus these Roaches. Salvation can hold on here. This Hellion count is enough to kill off these Roaches. SCV is going to come, make sure those Roaches are clumped up, but Baneling's now joining in. If the Roaches split up, this could be very hard to hold. But going on this ramp, those Hellions are going to do a lot of their area of effect damage. You can see these Roaches taking quite a bit of damage. The Hellions are cutting behind the Banelings so they don't get exploded upon, but he doesn't have much left. 69 supply to 110. All the SCVs are going to be going on down. And TLO going to be taking game number 3 and advancing in this Korean Weekly. Hope you enjoyed the series. Viking is landed. SCVs are brutalized. Thor is here. But GG. So, okay, so what I was saying about, yeah, TLO won with those Roaches. He could have easily done that. But what I was saying here, because this may be useful if you didn't do as much damage as TLO did and shut that down. Actually, the first thing I want to talk about is the Hellion Micro. I don't know if it would have helped because TLO had pretty darn good positioning. I think it was right back here. Hellion's not back at base. Where are they? So let's just watch the Hellions over here. We know what those Lings do. Banelings attacked the bunker. Was a mistake. Should have just went up into the main. Oh no, right here. So let's see if that micro would have helped him. It doesn't look like it. But the trick is to stop like the back two Hellions, or the front two Hellions, and let the back ones move. But in this case, he can't really do that. So what's his micro choice? I'd say his only real hope for escaping this is to stop maybe this middle one and hope TLO's on attack move, which I don't know if he is. Because if he stops the middle two, these two Hellions, these may take the AI of these Lings and then allow these Hellions to sneak on out. But if he was doing the micro I said earlier and stopping the front ones, they'd get stuck behind and get trapped in this area. So let's see how that does play out. So yeah, it does get caught right there. So then there's no way of him knowing that. That was a very good catch by TLO. But he couldn't go straight, so the only way he could have done that is went back out this way, which is very hard to do in the heat of the moment. And was this when the workers died? I think it was. Yeah, that's damage, so let's look at what the Hellions did. And this reminds me of an NASL game. I think it was whoever it was that crapped on a lot of casters. I think it was Straylock. I'm not exactly positive. Against Stefano of the game that you can't lose. Crap happens. It's as simple as that. Crap happens. You get these Hellions, you get overconfident, so let's look at what all these Hellions do. You can see the massive amounts of damage when they just all attack the same target. So now, going to be splitting everything up because Banelings do come out. So that's why he splits up. Banelings come out, and then he's worried about this, microing these Hellions. So that's what he's doing back here. Microed those Hellions, and that allowed TLO to just salvage. And didn't take a single loss. Very well done by TLO. Very nice job with that counterattack, realizing, well, it doesn't matter how many Lings I have. When you have 20 Hellions, you can kill them all heads on. So let's do some aggression. Very good game, I guess. Take care. Hope you enjoy the series. And please comment on the video. And also go to sc2cast.com, upvote the video. Or you don't have to upvote. If you didn't like it, feel free to downvote it. Speak your mind. But the more attention I get, the more I'm going to be motivated to cast. And I have... Let's count how many series I have really quick. And these are series from the Korean Weekly. So how much you guys cheer me on is how many Korean Weekly games I will be casting tomorrow, the weekend, and yeah. So it could be very well, you could see like 20 games in 3 days. So spread the news. Tell people about my channel. If you don't want to, you don't have to link them to these games because I know I normally cast high-end things, but hopefully when I start casting series, you'll know what to look for. You know, okay, this is a replay cast. I know this game is going to be amazing. It's hand-picked. It's told about. This is a best-of series. There's something to watch, necessarily. Best-of series, will be flat-out honest, they aren't always as good as when I do my replay cast. So if you don't want me to do the Korean Weekly, let me know and I'll try to find replays. But if you go to drop.sc, search for Grandmaster replays, you won't see any within 24 hours. So very hard to get games, and when I don't get games, I don't have people spotting and watching replays tell me what replays are good, which means I have to just guess. And I don't want to guess at like a finals game and pick that first because that can spoil all these other things. So I'm going to cast kind of it slowly, and I think there's like 7 or 8 series at minimum. I can't find my replays right now while talking, but hold on. Shut up real quick. Get to the series. 6. 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11, 13. So there's 14 series. We just casted one of them. So there's 13 series left. I'd like to have them all casted by the end of the weekend, but it's up to you guys. It's up to you to how you motivate me. Hate doing those things, but I gotta get my name out there somehow. So take care, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if there's anything you want, feel free to message me. Peace out.